or retired governor?
Or immediate past.
Or immediate past governor?
Anyone you choose will be okay.
Our guest is here, the immediate past governor of Rivers State, His Excellency, Chief Nyesom Wike. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
I would have how's life in retirement, except that I know that you, from the events we are seeing, it's like you are preparing for yet another outing in public service. So, but all the same, these past few days, your status changed. How is life as a former governor?
Of course, one is aware that your tenure is not more than, assuming you are re-elected, it's not more than 8 years. First of all, your tenure is 4 years. So you may likely go back, you may not likely go back. Luckily, we were able to make it. And so I know that May 29, 2023, my tenure will come to an end. And therefore, you have to put yourself in that position that it just cannot be forever. This status you have cannot remain that way. Everything has a beginning and everything will have an end. There's a time a man is born, there's a time a man will die. There's a time you are given a job and there's a time the job must end. So for me, I have always prepared myself. So nothing, the only difference I can say is that as a governor, you have a lot of things bothering you. You have a lot of problems in your state, infrastructure, a problem of education and this and that. So you are worried. You are thinking, what do I do to solving these problems? Now I'm not a governor. That burden is off me. But the only difference is that I've not really fully adjusted myself in terms of course, as a governor, you are very busy. Sleeping is a problem. So sometimes I wake up by 3 a.m. thinking that I was the governor to solve the problem. To solve the problem. Or trying to see inspection. So I've not really adjusted myself, but it's very interesting.
But you're one of the very few public servants who rose from local government to state, to federal, back to state. There are those who will ask, what lessons would you say you as a person, individual, have learned? And of course, this would have had impact on your individual person, on your family, and all of that. So what lessons would you say you've learned? And what, if you had to give an advice, for instance? This is before we go into the national issues.
Well, you see, first of all, if you want to go into public service, what I found that most people who go into public service were not prepared for it. Some people just go in that, take for example, that damn nomenclature, chairman of council, governor of Rivers State, right? So when you have nothing to offer, when you're not prepared, and you get there, it becomes difficult for you. But if you have at the back of your mind, you are not born chairman. People have been chairman before. And then you are saying, look, what is happening? Why is there no development? Why are we not feeling the impact of the chairman of local government? Why are we not feeling the impact of governor of the state? And then you want to be chairman now. That at the back of your mind. So look, I must make a difference. Because this was what I was saying, that there's no impact. So now that I have the opportunity, what do I do? How will the impact be made? And so I'm focused. Some people want to be governor just for the name. And when you go there are these things that I see that happen. Oh, my brothers, this is our turn. This is our turn. And when you have that at the back of your mind, you will not be focused on the job. Because you have to have become a governor. My status have changed. I can order for this, I can travel, I can do this and that. No, that is not the major thing why he became a governor. Why he became a governor is to render services to the people. And how do you render these services? It's another thing. So, if you have at the back of your mind that I have come to provide services to the people, you will see that you will achieve quite a lot. That is why sometimes people think that governance is so difficult. That's not difficult about governance. When once you are focused, when once you have the passion, you see it is very easy. Very easy. You can't solve all problems. You can't. But people will see that you have made an attempt to solve a lot of problems. And then when somebody comes in, the person will build from what you have done to add. If everybody adds as you come in, obviously, the society will improve.
Okay, Your Excellency, I'd like to take you back to what has been a talking point since you left office, and that's the event of the grand reception by your people. It was so massive. We had turnout of people. For most of it was very emotional, and we saw you on that program, and we could see the soft side of you, you know, aside from the rugged and the dogged Governor Nyesom Wike that we know, we saw the soft side of Your Excellency. Now, can you share the feeling? What was it like for you on that very day?
Do you know, I never felt that the day went for the, first of all, nobody handed over to me. So I never witnessed handover ceremony. And that day I handed over. I saw the activities, you know, leading to the inauguration ceremony. When I handed over the flag of the state and the handover note to my successor, and then he saw me off to the car with my wife, when I was leaving, it was when I became emotional, how people were even shedding tears. I was touched. But that didn't bother me much. When I left the stadium, through the Romamas Road, what I saw on the road, that it rained that day heavily, but people were on the road. And I said, hi, my wife, what's going on here? I came out from the car. I saw the white jubilation. I broke down. So it means that people know. People have realized that people have made a difference in government. It has never happened in the history of the state, that people will come out jubilating, praising somebody. You know, when it is getting toward the inauguration ceremony, you don't see anybody coming to you again. You don't see anybody coming to you. But in my own case, it was different. Even as I speak to you now, you will still think that I'm still in the office because of the way I impacted on the lives of people, because of the way I improved on the infrastructure of the state. So people can see it's not about stories. It's not about treaties. It's what people feel. Look at Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt has changed. And people will be wondering, what were we doing here before? What was happening to our state before? You mean Port Harcourt can be like this? And then such a person is leaving office. But the greatest thing any politician would have is that his people coming out to receive him, to say, look, my son, our son, we have done well. We appreciate you. You never disgraced us. The day I got to my village and my father came out to receive it, you can see how emotional my father was. How many governors will say that your people, you can go? In fact, they laid rapper on the road that I must march on that road. How many public officers?
What's the significance of that?
No, that is the hero has come back.
Okay.
Yes, it's like a triumphant entry.
All right.
That we are happy. Indeed, we're happy with you.
In all of the projects that you lined up for the state, would you say you achieved everything according to your satisfaction?
Well, it will be impossible. First of all, you have some. Take for example, the former governor. The present governor. I went to University of Port Harcourt yesterday to inspect the convocation arena that we, as a state government, building for the University of Port Harcourt. That contract was given to a politician, money fully paid, and that contract ought to have been completed as at last year. So when I went to that place, I said, listen, we have finished paying this. Why have you not completed this? And, you know, people know very well these are things I can't take lightly. But then, in anything you do, politics is being played. If I've said, look, arrest this contractor, and you must tell us, sign for us, that this is when it will finish. The next thing you see is prosecuting those who support the article. So I just said, hey, all this propaganda is not necessary. So for me, that job I gave out, I ought to have. It is not from the government now. They would have been paid. So these are the kind of things that will make you not to finish all the projects. But what gives me satisfaction is that these are not projects that we abandon. You saw the governor was there yesterday, and the people told him 60 days. And I watched on television, said 60 days, 60 days. And in that 60 days, we believe that project would have been finished. As I speak to you, the projects we left are not the kind of projects that, oh, they've just started. No. Projects that money have been paid up to 70%. And the governor, being part of us as a former accountant general, knows everything we did. And I can tell you, in his 100 days in office, the kind of projects he will roll out will be shocking to the entire country. Because for me, if you are leaving office, you don't just keep crisis, bottle of crisis for your successor. You should also put things in place that will make your successor to succeed. And that's what we have done.
So now that you've handled
That's a quick follow-up on
okay.
that. Would that be part of the reasons that informed his choice for a kind of seamless continuation of governance?
Part of what I've seen in our system here is that when somebody is not part of that system, he comes in, he abandons everything that had been done by the previous administration. But unfortunately, I didn't do that when I came. Even though nobody handed over to me. In 2015, every project that was awarded by my predecessor, I completed them. In fact, it became a problem that when we go and commission a project, all you hear is that, was it the one who awarded it? Instead of it to praise us, that we did not award it. But yet, we said, no, this is a government fund. Government is a continuum. You're not telling us that no, we are not the ones who awarded it. No, is award the problem or completion?
There was some that you actually said no to.
No.
Like
the monorail. No, I didn't say no. The people of Rivers State said no. When I came, I summoned a meeting of stakeholders in the government house. And I said, look, tell me, from the records, this project, over 50-something billion have been spent. And from what the contractors are saying, they require about another 40-something billion. So, what is the economic viability of this project? Do you advise I should go into it or I should leave it? I use the fund for other development projects. And they said, look, this is not our priority. What's the kilometer of this monorail? Where the traffic is taken? From where to where? So I listened to the people, and I went, if I had that kind of money, where you had that monorail, it would have built flyovers and then to decongest the
Just as a Rivers man, yes. What will now become of that project? Every time you drive along and you say...
Frankly speaking, I don't know what the future will be. But I think that maybe in future the state may want to, but we also look at it for the man who started it, for him to see.
That is if it survives the future.
Yeah, but people will know. Well, that guy's government, the kind of project you carry out must be thoughtful, must be impactful. You see, some people go to Dubai. I saw this monorail in Dubai. And then you come to your state, I will do monorail. What feasibility stuff? What study have you carried out on the powerfulness of this project? Yes, monorail is a fine thing. If you say people are okay, fine. But what's the impact? As at that time, is there a major problem? Is that a major problem of the state as at that time? Maybe in future, in 40 years, maybe. But now, what are the immediate problems that the state requires to solve, to move on? I mean, you can't just carry a project that will be useful in 100 years' time. When you are talking about what you can solve now to make the state economically viable.
Okay, you talk about some project that you carried on from your predecessor's project. What about the remodeled schools? There are some who argue that you abandoned the schools that were built for these children, and they were not all used.
You know, the problem people have is that they don't like to say the truth. I was chief of staff then. Why are you bringing down schools to say you want to start building new schools? If you look at the report by the Economic Advisory Council, which he set up then, headed by the late Professor Nyesom, who just died. If you see the report by late Professor Nyesom, how can you award just for purposes that you want? Even some schools are started where they don't have 200%. Yes, unnecessarily. I went to Minima one of these days. How many people in Minima go there? Over 300 of these schools just left Lebanon. Take for example, government secondary school Ogu in Ogu local government. They brought down the whole building and said they are going to build a new one. Not one single block was put. This is a school that you see children, people are there. And you gave them hope, you brought it down. It was as I came, I went there and rebuilt that school. Go and see the standard it is today. The same thing happened in government secondary school, Emohua. You remove the school where the school was. They are going to build a modern school. The school was abandoned, not completed. Now go and see what we have done in Emohua. We have rebuilt the school. Now this one you say was a modern school abandoned. I gave it to the university to be a campus of River State University, and which has been completed. Go there and see. Go to government secondary school. Go to Eche. You know, okay. You want to build a modern school. For Christ's sake, these jobs were awarded 4.3 something billion as a matter of time. What happened? Not completed. So you have all kinds of projects here and there, here and there. And why we have government secondary school, okay, in such a dilapidated, you are now building a modern school opposite that government secondary school, okay. Why not rebuild government secondary school, okay? Go and see what we have been there now. Now, this other modern secondary school, I've given to the army to use as army days to command. You don't just, you see, people, that's why I say, people will go to Dubai. You just want to say, I am the one who brought this thing. We have good schools. Renovate the school, equip the school.
But you were chief of staff in that government, and
yes.
as chief of staff, you had a voice.
You have
Chief of
voice.
staff are supposed to have voice in the administration.
You see, something you must know. What's the role of a chief of staff? Yes, if your boss said, look, this is what I'm going to do. If you have advised, he said no. What do? Are you the governor? You can't do anything. We don't need to go to the public to say that we advise. No, we don't need to do that.
Even with your strong character?
No. My strong character does not mean that we are giving advice to your boss. You do it in such a public way that you are disagreeing. No, you don't do that. You go back and say, look, I don't think this is good. I don't think we should do this way. You know, that time, there was money. There was money. What was the exchange rate? $1.50 to $1. That was why people said, look, we had money. but we didn't know what to do with the money. If I was governor as at that time, if I could build 12 flyovers in 4 years' time, with an exchange rate of almost 700 to $1, then know what would have happened at that time.
Talking about the flyovers, Your Excellency, you've just left office only a few days ago, and I'm sure you've had time to reflect on some of the actions, the decisions you took while you were governor. Do you have any regrets over any of your policies?
I don't think I have any regrets in any policy I've taken or any project I've embarked upon. Take for example, he said about the flyovers. The only problem I have now, and that's why I believe the present governor will be very decisive. Our people don't like good things. And that's there the other day. You know what people are doing? You know, we use mesh wire to protect so that people don't go there to start trading. Exactly. You know what they're doing? They're now cutting the mesh wire. This is the kind of things. I mean, you spend money, government spends money to beautify a city, to develop a city. You see some group of people now coming to destroy that. I couldn't believe that. I came out from my car. You mean human beings can do this? So I called the governor. I said, listen, I just passed. He said, yes, you have seen it. And I think he says meeting with the chairman of councils today. Because if you catch such people, treat them as armed robbers fully. You treat them as armed robbers. There's nothing like, oh, let them face lesser offense. No. That's the only language people will understand. I don't want to call the particular group, so let it not become, oh, you are having in mind this. But we know people who, what they do, sometimes, you know, you have this manhole, they go and move it and go and sell. And it's terrible. It's terrible. But so, my concern is, if government does not take decisive action against them now, you will regret the whole thing you did. But I know that
would require a change in strategy, because you go to some parts of Port Harcourt now, you find that those manholes, the ions have been removed, and they pull out these ions, sell them, and make money. Couldn't we have come up with a better strategy of maybe putting a slab on it, you know, rather than the ions those ions are quite expensive?
It will be difficult for you to put a slab, because these are where, in case of maintenance, you know, for the companies, you can see human beings will go in there to clean the drainages and the rest of it. So it will be difficult now. But the point I'm making is that how people will learn. These things are done in the night, in the midnight, early hours. Now, what you do? Like, for example, you have youths. Sometimes you are afraid whether these youths are also not the ones involved. Now, tell the chairman of council to set up vigilante team. You hear something? Also, place where these things are being sold, right? And then you get those who buy and those who sell. By the time two people have found themselves somewhere, people will stop back up. And when you are heard about it, they know you are serious about it. When I was there, it was not possible. They know if we catch you, you will never know whether you see this one again.
All right, there was one environmental issues that was solved under you. We recall that River State used to have a lot of soot from illegal refining, and it was something that you were against. In fact, you were on the news many times talking about. How did you solve that problem for it to be sustained, especially
but it had been reduced. Why? We took the worst to them. You come from all this poor fire and the rest of it, all this illegal bunkering and this. So I called the chiefs of the community. I called the youth of the community. These things are done by you. If they are not done by you, then you are a complete story, because nobody, no outsider could have done this here, and then you are watching. It's not correct. So the chiefs were involved, the youths were involved. I declared a war. I declared a war. I said, look, if this happens to your community again, chief, I will take you. The youth, I will take you. And of course, everybody had to say, listen, there's a problem. Again, the security, some of the security were involved. They were the people who ate these boys because they get money from there. I know nothing pains you. You think you're working with security agents, not knowing they are the ones collaborating with these people. They escort these products out. We have had so many instances. There was a time I just told my team, I said, listen, what kind of country is this? I'm not in charge of security. I can't say anything. And for me, it's a major problem. And that's why, for you to reduce this oil theft, let the president not deceive himself. He must tell the security chiefs and point at them clearly. There's no way you can tell me we come not to this oil theft without you being involved. Let nobody deceive you. No governor can stop it because they are not in charge of the security chiefs here.
Your Excellency, if I may interrupt here, earlier you mentioned something about telling local government chairmen to set up vigilante groups. You've again come down to talk about the security matter, and the president should tell them we can't stop this. Would you be pushing, or I'm sure that in the course of your 8 years and before that, you've already talked about the issue of state police, and that conversation has been there. As a lawyer, first of all, our laws don't allow for state police as we speak, so to speak. But as a lawyer and one who has been there, and now you're on the outside, what would you say about allowing state police to come in, and what areas would they have to operate with?
It has nothing to do with being a lawyer. It has to do with what you are talking about, true federalism. You don't need to be a lawyer to know that we are saying we are operating a federal system. Go to all over the world, those who are operating federal system. In America, you have local councils have their own police. Yes, they do. Take for example, that I say we should set up a vigilante does not necessarily mean that you're going to give them sophisticated weapons. No. It could be like intelligence. Do you understand me? It could be like intelligence. We set up a neighborhood watch, which were being trained by our security agencies. Cleared. Do you know what happened? Former Chief of Buratai, because the Minister of Transportation then told them that I was setting neighborhood watch for political reasons. They went to the NYC camp where they are being trained by our former security agents. They went there and arrested everybody. No. Former Chief of Mr. Buratai did that. Because the former Minister of Transportation, look, we suffer a lot of things in this state. Everything was done to make this state to be ungovernable. Everything was done. A CP we brought here today, why we're having to draw up a new security architecture in the next 3 months. The Minister of Transportation then said, oh no, we don't want the CP, it's not working according to my own way. All they want, don't work for security, for us to enjoy level of security. Let it be like state is ungovernable.
Why would anybody do that?
That's what you should ask yourself. When you don't love your people, when you believe that, look, you had an opportunity to turn the state around, and somebody has come, and people are seeing what you're doing, you are not happy about it. So let it not be that anything development is going on. Everybody, it was not the secret thing. We had a hostile federal government against our state. In fact, people were surprised at the level of development. How? Upon this hostility against your state. I never knew that a governor will be sitting as a governor and he will be sitting there, they're changing his CP, security per minute, per second, per hour, per day. It happened to me here.
Could that have contributed to why you became so vocal?
Well, you see, if you don't shout and let the world know, the world will not know. There was nothing that the federal government then did not do to us. There was nothing.
So, talking about security challenges in Rivers State, it will seem as if at the advent of a new regime, insecurity tends to raise its ugly heads. From the reports of the past few days, it's like kidnapping in some parts are beginning to come up.
It is not correct. It is not correct. In fact, this state has been so peaceful.
There's a case of a kidnapper.
That does not mean that no country, you hear in America, shooting of school children up and down. That does not mean you had the other day, Sokotans and how many people were killed. That does not mean you had the other day, how many people were killed in Benue. You heard the other day, how many people were killed in Plateau. Have you heard of such killings in this state? No. So if somebody was kidnapped, does that mean that the state is insecure? It does not mean. You see, that is why I was so angry when I saw politics of relocation of tribunal to Abuja. I saw politics and I laughed. It happened to us in 2015 here. I laughed. Look, APC, according to them, wrote that, that we are not allowing them to collect document, to collect document from INEC. We wrote to the Court of Appeal President. So it is not safe for them. SDP wrote. Now, you have not ascertained from the security agencies to what extent is this correct? To what extent? Is it correct or just mere political decision? Now, the same people who wrote that petition, SDP has withdrawn their petition, APC has withdrawn their petition, right? They have withdrawn their petition. The same people who wrote, they are not civil. Now you ask yourself, what's the insecurity in Rivers? But there's another petition tribunal. It's in Benue. Look at the number of deaths. In Plateau, is there. In Sokoto, is there. So many people are dying every day. You heard what somebody was saying yesterday. I was watching the channels. What is his name? I think show me something like that. Said how he was attacked in the tribunal and this and that and that. But you see, we politicize everything in Rivers. Everything is being politicized. And we know. When you talk about this insecurity, people use it to play whatever thing they want to do. For Christ's sake, no government can tell you that you can't have one crime or the other. No, it is not true. That government is not serious. Even development is a big crime. So they may find that there was one level of kidnapping. Does not make the state to be insecure. What is important?
The question really should be your successor not being a member of the State Security Council while you were governor.
It doesn't need to.
It doesn't need to be the tricks you use to ensure that the peace reigns.
First of all, you don't need to be a member of the State Security Council before you know. Listen, he was a top member of government a civil servant at that level. That he's not a member does not mean that he does not get information. Two, there's a handover note. What we did. And in terms of funding of the security agencies, who was releasing the money? It's the Office of Accountant General. So he knows what we did for security agencies for us to be able to achieve peace or relatively in the state, excuse me. Okay. So being involved, if you are buying equipment, who releases the money? If you are giving logistics to the security agency, who releases the money? So he's fully aware. And again, he has a handover note that, look, see what we did in terms of security to be where we are today. To be where we are today. Unlike mine, I never had any handover note. I didn't know what was there, I didn't have it. So it's just moving like this. What do we do? That was what happened to us.
But maybe that's why you were able to make so much impact, that your people came out to show their love and appreciation for you.
It's not only, it is the passion, the commitment. I mean, if a state, I'm not the most intelligent person, I'm not the most handsome person. So if the state will say, look, we are giving you a mandate. Our hope is on you. For me, it's an honor. It's a big privilege. And the only way you can thank the people is not to disappoint them.
Would you let your successor also serve the people without interfering?
He's already doing it. What do you have? You see, like I said before, if you mean well for the state, your successor should not inherit problems. The only problem you should inherit are the normal problems in every government. Take for instance, you cannot, nobody will tell you that, look, the issue of security, that but some people may have reduced the level of insecurity, which we did. And so he will work to make sure it still comes down. In terms of deliverables, some will say, look, they can't do anything because of the huge debt. All right? Some can say, look, all these things they will say they are worried are bogus, not in existence. So it's a problem for you. You now begin to say, how do I cope? When I came in 2015, our IGR was 4 billion a month. And that time allocation was heavily bad because the production level comes so low to about even 700,000 per barrel a day. 700,000 barrel a day. It was that bad. But today, as I speak to you, it's not as if that is okay for us, no. But we've been able to move it up to 12 billion a month. So no matter how bad the allocation comes, and we're able to pay salaries, we still have some funds to be able to embark upon projects. I tell people, look, as a second-time governor, if it was my first time I did it, you would have said, look, he's looking for second time. But this is second time I came in. I brought Joseph to do 12 flyovers and finish it. Do you know how much it is? I could have as well pocketed that money. Second time I'm leaving. But for Christ's sake, how do you feel seeing how your state is and you're having money in your pocket? How do you feel?
Is that what is giving you confidence to openly walk all over the place? Or even
I told you before now, I will leave this state without carrying security going everywhere. No, I told you that. And I told you I'm not going to run away from this state. How many governors can you now see visible come out? How many people? If EFC want to invite me, I told you if EFC invites me, they will stay in Rivers State for 6 months. They will take them project by project. Look at what we did there. Look at where this money went. See what we did there. Then let them invite me. I'm not afraid of that.
All right, Your Excellency, let me come in here now. Yeah, we're talking about you leaving office only a few days ago, and Nigerians, we also are talking about a president who has just taken over only a few days ago. But if you ask me, I think he has taken some steps so far. I would like to know how satisfied you are with the steps he has taken, considering the fact that you lent your support to him openly from the other side.
Yeah.
So how do you feel?
You see, I have told everybody who cares. My people say, the first step of a dance tells you whether you'll be a good dancer or not. He has shown a leadership. The first day he took the oath, and he said, listen, we must tell ourselves the simple truth. It can't be business as usual. See this problem, see this problem, see this problem. To start with, this so-called subsidy is gone. How many presidents can take that kind of decision? For me, that is leadership. For me, it shows that he's prepared for the job. It is a hard decision, but you have to take it. No good leader who may swear for his people will begin to propagate. No, he knew. He saw that, look, in his campaign, he said it. He did not hide it. PDP president can just say it. Labour president can say it. So all of them know that this is a problem for this country. And having been given the mantle of leadership, why are you going to waste time again? Having told the people, if you're elected, you are going to do it. For me, I felt so happy that yes, we didn't make a mistake. That is the kind of leadership we want in this country. Everybody, you see, everybody must not like what you have said or what you want to do. When I came and took some decision, take flavor, this flavor, I got abuses everywhere. Oh, is this an elephant project you want to take money and run away? This is a container. Which same man will come and say that he's awarding 12 flyovers in 4 years? He must be a sane man. You just want to pack the money and go. Even when I was awarding it, even 6 months to leave office, they say, oh, this is the money he wants to take down. Since his tenure coming down. But I thank God today. They've seen the beauty. They've seen the transformation. That this thing can be done. But as a leader, if I had followed what people were saying, the inconveniences, I wouldn't have done it. But I know this is what is good for my people. And my people have now today shown, yes, we really appreciate what he did. So what the president did was to tell Nigerians, listen, I'm prepared for this job. I'm prepared for this job. And that is why some of us will say, look, give him a chance. That statement he made, and with what he has said, I'm not going back. For me, it's a rating. For me, it's a rating. That's what leadership is all about. It's not a privilege that you come today, you say this. In 2 hours, you have changed. It's all kind of things that, people will tell you, oh, heaven will come down. For Christ's sake.
But what
all of us own this country. If you don't want all of us, okay. But this decision must be taken for the interest of Nigerians. Yet there will be a kind of yes, hue and cry, but people there will be hardship. But it can be yes.
He has also made some appointments. Are you satisfied?
What appointments?
Chief of
The
Staff.
Chief of Staff?
Beautiful. Look at what he did. Look at what he did. You see, I have never been a lawmaker, but I know in circumstances like this, you need somebody who can preach, relate with the lawmaking or the lawmakers. He appointed former speaker. Okay, speaker, not former, because his time have not come to an end. What's wrong with that? Beautiful appointment. Beautiful appointment. He appointed Akume as Secretary to Government. Former civil servant, former Director of Government House, former Permanent Secretary, became governor, became a minister. And you're talking about engine room of government. Who can be more qualified than that? And look at what the man is doing, balancing. Remember, the Muslim ticket was a serious problem in this country. Was a serious problem in this country. Whether anybody wants to accept the truth or not, it was a serious problem. And that's why you have to be careful. Nigeria is such a complex country that you have to be careful. Don't mind those who are so selfish that they can't see the truth. It was a serious problem for him. And for him, how do I now say or to assure this other section that look, what you think is not what it is. Therefore, I'm going to bring in this government people from these areas too, to assuage them that look, what we're doing is the right thing. And he happened to be Christian. And for the North Central, you see the balancing. If anybody tells you, no, don't bother, you can't appoint anybody, it's a lie. Those people don't want this country to be one. These are selfish people. So for me, he has shown that he has that capacity. He has shown to Nigerians that, look, what you are talking about does not exist in my mind. All I want is to win the election and show my capacity. And that's what Nigerians want.
Your Excellency, your relationship with the president is making you a kind of, let me use this expression, a hybrid politician. You are more or less the leader of the PDP in Rivers State. And your relationship with the president is invariably making you the leader of the APC in Rivers State.
I don't know how that comes up. I don't know.
And it's like, in the last within this 1 week,
yeah,
you've been with the president like twice.
Yes.
Your meeting with the president is like something politically delicious.
There is nothing there. The last government didn't give me any access to see their president. You remember the government was too hostile to my state because of the president of the Minister of Transportation. You remember that? Now, if a government has come and said, listen, what do you think that this thing we are doing, maybe because you are from that side, what's your thinking? And I said, okay, this is my own thinking. That has nothing to do.
So it's all about Rivers' interest.
I have told you before. Because even if you're talking about Nigeria, there are states that make up the country. Right? So as I'm talking about Nigeria, I'm also talking about my state. I mean, it would be stupid of me to just go to anyone and say Nigeria. There are states that make up Nigeria. If I come back home and they ask me, you are welcome, how far? What would I say? So you see, it's very special.
Is that not contrary to the principle of federalism, where you're always running to the center for whatever it is?
I'm not running to the center, but which is even wrong. That's what we're saying. The central government has enormous power that has made the state to be beggars, which is not the way it's supposed to be. Take, for example, when I challenge the issue of VAT, I said, listen, under a normal federal system, even by the constitution, VAT is to be collected by us. But it was politicized. Some states who believe that they get money from VAT, who they don't contribute, teamed up. Some came as this region. Some even brought the issue of religion into the whole thing. And I asked them, listen, look at the constitution there. Am I the drafter of the constitution? Look at it there. It's part of our federal system. And it's a problem we only say that we practice federalism on pages of newspaper. But in reality, there's no federalism in Nigeria. There's no federalism. That's why most people are afraid. So why you see states every time I go to Abuja, is the nature of the federal system that we operate. We are merely beggars. You see a governor going to kneel down for IG. You see a governor going to kneel down for chief of army, in all kinds of things. You see a governor going to kneel down for a permanent secretary in the federal ministry, begging. Look at the issue of stamp duty. Very clear. Who should? But for, peace to reign, they agreed that, okay, let the matter come for Supreme Court. You get this percentage, you get up to now. Maybe permanent secretary, Minister of Finance, maybe Governor Central Bank. Dictating when the money, you see, I just said, look, we don't have any, let us not pretend about it. This is what you have agreed. And politics came in. Is that the kind of federal system that we should run? that states now go to the central bank. Look, this governor of central bank is like a president. It is a system. Governors are just beggars. So go and see where they are queuing.
But still,
I've never seen that in my life.
Your Excellency,
Yes.
we'll go on
Yes.
shortly, but maybe just before we get to that point, still on this your constant meeting with the president. The president is enjoined to pick a minister, at least a minister from every state of the federation. If he offers you the slot for Rivers State, would you take it?
In fact, there's a list that is already trending online. I'm sure
And
you've
his name
seen
is
that also.
prominently
And in
on that
fact,
list.
your office is has already been identified. Let me not go into that. But I know you, Excellency, you've also seen that list trending. So how will it go? A PDP man in an APC government accepting such offers?
Are you talking about APC, PDP, or you are talking about Nigeria? You see, must I be relevant only when I'm given an appointment? You see, this is the problem we have. Must you be relevant only when, like somebody said, your relevance is what you were able to do while you have opportunity. Your relevance is how your people see you. Right? That's your relevance. Not when you are given an appointment that makes you relevant. No. But like I said, every week you see people rolling out different lists. What is my business? The Mr. President has not called me one day to say, look, this is what I want you to do. For me to say yes or no. But you see people every week. In fact, I'm sure this week another list will come out.
And your name will always be there.
Why? Because let me tell you what they think. They think because the way Rivers State is now, it's clear. Politically or otherwise.
The president's party in Rivers State is not in sync with him.
What's my business? If they have problem, I don't know.
Probably that's why you have become the beautiful bride.
I don't know. It is the relevance. It is the relevance. Listen, we say we are supporting Southern president. Our Southern president won. These other elections were local. House Assembly election, local. National Assembly election, local. Governorship is local. But presidency was a national issue. And people were saying, look, this is what they want now. The power must shift now. And it was easy. And you remember, in the local areas, what some of them would tell you, why are we voting for this one? They're already aware. It's a language they speak. Forget about what you see in the urban. In the rural areas, they already, you see, it's like here. If we are doing governorship, in a community where a governorship candidate comes from, you will see the sentiment there. They are not talking about assembly. They are talking about, we'll put here where our own son. It is in the urban where I speak all this grammar. That's where I speak all the grammar. Just like I said, maybe, I don't know. Like I said, people are always speculating. Nigeria, you know, when I was finishing my first degree, I think my supervisor said, look, he wants somebody to, can't I take it up? Rumor, how does it emanate? Who are the beneficiaries? I said, sir, there are not too much literature on this. But it's something you can say, yes, maybe if I do my master's, I will do, but now let me graduate first. Let me have my degree, and then my master's, I can now, sit down and come up with, what you do, your research work, questionnaire, this and that. Unfortunately, I didn't do that. I have to go back for another first degree, which is law. So you see, I can tell. So these rumors, who sit down to contemplate about it, who sits down to put in such a way that people will begin to say, it's correct. Oh. You know, Nigeria, another list has come, and this is authentic list. Every week, there's one authentic.
But is the president consulting with you regarding appointments?
No, I've never one day. Never. I think this is what you want to hear what actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Twice
it will douse the speculation.
So what is the speculation? Listen, there's something going on in the country now about the Senate presidency and the House thing. Sure. And anybody knows my position. My position is the presidency should come to the South.
The presidency of the Senate.
Yeah, of the Senate. We're not talking about president of Nigeria now. We're done with that. Should come to the South. Ask me why. People, you see, I don't understand how this country, how it's operates. People are so selfish. If you agree that the presidency should come to the South, tell me in truth, where should you go now? In truth, it can't be in the Southwest, right?
Yeah.
How will it be in the Southeast? South has only produced one Senate president, 1979, Joseph Wires. Southeast has produced over 7. Ewerim, Ayin, Wabara, Nyamani, Okadibo. Name them.
Anyim.
Name them. Let us tell ourselves the truth. The problem when you say the truth in this country, people try to align it to, you know what, in terms of performance for Mr. President, in terms of performance, if we want to use electoral success, is the South after the Southwest.
All right, Your Excellency, we need to put you on hold.
Okay.
Because it's top of the hour. Let's take a quick break. At least that will also enable you to get some breather. When we come back, Maria will probably lead us on that second stanza. Go on a quick break.
Lagos is the most visited state in Africa as the 5th largest economy on the continent. Covering the state and its government is no mean feat, it's a busy beat. We go beyond the curtain of tapes to travel in far into the deep.
I want to thank the Lagos State government for the healthcare facility.
To bring stories that cut across all spectrums.
A greater Lagos shall be ours.
We tell you stories that define our collective well-being as Lagosians. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Politics is defined as getting what, where, when, and how. But in the mix, many things come to play to shape the political fortune of any country.
Honorable Minister,
that's how you misinform the public.
From the political actors to the electorate, campaign to voting, from debates to policy decisions, big events happen to engage us in constant conversation.
That's what we're looking for. Not some people who are talking about ethnicity. No.
Who is on your mind?
Don't worry.
Join me every day on Politics Tonight, where we dissect issues that shape our political destiny. Politics Tonight, weekdays on TVC News.
Our boss was like, a decent fashion designer only gets home at midnight.
Midway.